Welcome, this is Agriculture from 2. We are now on topic number 6, whereby we'll be discussing on gender and agricultural production. Last time we were on topic number 5, where we were looking on experimental design. In this topic, we learned the meaning of the term experimental design, as well as the factors to consider when we want to go to design an experiment. Then later on, we'll also branch to how to write a report, after conducting the research. So let us proceed from there by now looking at gender and agricultural production. Gender and agricultural production. And the emphasis, of course, will be on the gender roles in agricultural production. For the meaning of the term gender, we already know, just because we look in several subjects, life skills, social studies, we're just talking of the state of being female or male. But the concentration will be on the gender roles. Of course, it is important to assign the task to different people, but in our case, assigning those tasks according to gender, sometimes it might have an impact in agricultural production. So we can define the term gender roles as cultural or social duties performed by either male or female members in a given community. So depending on culture, depending on social duties, people are assigned different duties to do or to perform, bearing in mind that they are males as well as female. So agriculture can be an important engine for growth and poverty reduction in Malawi. However, more than half of Malawians are women, of whom about 75% are illiterate. And this has greatly affected the participation of women in agricultural development, thereby leading to low agricultural production. Just because if you can check around, most of the activities in agriculture, they are done by women, but we're saying that 75% of them, they are illiterate. So it will be difficult for them to adopt the new technologies, the new technological methods of agricultural production. So we're saying women make up between 60 to 80% of the agricultural labor force. So the following roles are played by women in Malawi. For example, we have producing agricultural crops. Women do activities like weeding, harvesting, fertilizer application, and other related duties. Apart from that, they do rear livestock. These women also process and prepare food. They also are working for wages in agricultural or other rural enterprises. They are there also in terms, when it comes to collecting fuel and water, other duties. They are also engaged in trade and marketing, caring for family members, and maintaining their homes. So what can be the consequence or limitation of participation of women in agricultural production? So the participation of women in agricultural production is limited by the following: land ownership. Land ownership. In customary laws of land ownership, land most of the times is owned by men, and they have sole rights to decide on the proportions of what is to be produced. So that will affect participation of women in agricultural production, just because the ownership of land across in most of the parts of the country, the lands are owned by men. So the owner always has rights to decide on what to do with the land. Apart from that, land use, men make decision on growing of cash crops, while women are involved in production of food crops. This include planting, management practices, harvesting, and storage. On the other hand, men may not be involved in the actual production of the cash crops, but they make marketing decisions. Sometimes all the work can be done by women, but when it comes to marketing decisions, they are made by men. Women are involved in management of livestock, but can only make decisions on marketing small livestock like chicken. Marketing of the main livestock such as cattle, they are done by men. Another way through which can limit participation of women in agricultural production is access to credit. Women have no right over land ownership and hence cannot use it as a form of security to get loans. The decisions for loan acquisition are therefore made by men. So as we know that country Malawi, we are poor, so most of the farmers, be it men as well as women, they'll need capital when it comes to engaging into farming activities. So as we have already said that women, they are not sole owners of the land, therefore they have no right over land ownership, and hence they cannot use that land as to act as the collateral, just because the money lenders most of the times they need assurance that you are going to give back the loan. So they get some of the maybe the properties which you are having, durable properties which you are having, to act as a security or collateral. So that would be difficult for women just because they have no right over the land ownership. Apart from that, extension and training services is also one of the limitations to women when it comes to participating in agricultural production. Although women form majority of farmers in Malawi, they have limited access to extension and training services. This is due to social, cultural values and low levels of education. Some of the cultural values, they do not allow farmers, so that maybe they should be trained to various services concerning to agricultural production. Just because they are women, they should be there just taking care of their family, and not going out conducting meetings, trainings, so on and so forth. And also sometimes the limitation could be because of low levels of education, so they shun in participating those trainings as well as training services. Apart from that, use of farm income. Although women are involved in cultivation and management of livestock, the decisions on how to use the income upon sale of the produce is left to men. Very little of the income is invested back in the farming or used to improve the living standards of the female. So therefore, There is need for equal division of labor in agricultural development. In Malawi, it is clear that there is an equal division of labor in agricultural production. The large part in the agricultural activities is done by women, a little part done by men. But when it comes to decision on how to do this, how to use the money, all coming from men. So therefore, it is better when both men and women contribute equally towards agricultural production. So, what will be the importance if both men as well as women contribute equally towards agricultural production? How can that be promoted as well, so that there should be equal contribution towards agricultural production from both sexes? Men and women will be working as a team, hence decisions will be made jointly. So this equality or equal sharing of activities on the farm, both of them they'll be working as a team. So when it comes to decision making, they will also be making those decisions jointly together. Apart from that, men and women will cooperate in all farming activities. If they are working as a team, just because there is equal sharing of agricultural activities, there'll be cooperation. There'll be cooperation in all farming activities. And work on the farm will be fairly distributed between men and women, hence no overworking of one group. As we were saying that almost 80% of the farming activities are done by women. So there was overworking, more especially to the side of women. So work on the farm will be fairly distributed if there is that equal distribution of activities between men and women. Therefore, no overworking of one group. And also men and women will make consultative decisions in income utilization and investment. Not only one group will be making the decisions, so they'll be consulting one another on how to utilize the income as well as on how to invest the income. So as of now, what are the roles of women in making decisions in agricultural production? Although women make up the biggest fraction of the labor force in agricultural production, they are rarely involved in major decisions. Major farming decisions are preserve of their male companions. This is further compounded by the fact that in most households, men are employed elsewhere, mainly in the urban areas. And women are just involved in making minor decisions in agricultural production, and most often in consultation with their husbands. So some of the decisions women might make are time of land preparation, time of planting, time of land weeding, time of harvesting, time of applying fertilizer, selling of minor produces such as vegetables, fruits, small stocks like chicken and eggs, what food crops to produce, how much food crops to produce. There are other decisions made by women in consultation with their husbands, and these may include what commercial enterprise to undertake. This they cannot make on their own, but they need to consult. Marketing of major produce like tea and cotton, selling of major livestock such as pigs, cattle and goats, how to produce, that is the technology to use, what technology to use, how much to produce, that is the size of each enterprise. So, what can be the impact of these gender roles in agricultural production? So, the following are the effects of gender roles, existing gender roles. Number one, inappropriate land preparation. Since we're saying that over 70% of Malawian households are headed by women, they have less labor available uh, of heavy tasks like land preparation because they have fewer male family members. This leads to inadequate and late land preparation. And also the late land or inappropriate land preparation might also be since most of the women are the ones which are involved in the land preparation, but they do not know how to use some technology ways of preparing the land. That's why that will lead to inappropriate land preparation. Apart from that, it's late planting. If land preparation is delayed just because of the use of traditional methods of farming, therefore that will accompany late planting. Late land preparation leads to late planting, which affects general crop yield. So it means the other effect of gender roles is low yields. Since there will be inappropriate land preparation, there will be late planting, this will result into low yields. So as a result of poor land preparation and late planting, crop yields will always be of low average. Apart from that, this will also affect low quality, there will be low quality produce. Farmers do not practice timely pest and disease control measures because the pesticides may not be available at appropriate time. Apart from that, there will also be just because they are using the traditional methods of crop production, most of the times they are slow. They are slow. Those methods, they are slow when it comes to undertaking agricultural activities. So it means there will be late control of weeds, of which those weeds they will harbor pests as well as diseases affecting crop produce. So there will be low quality of produce. And also low household income. Low household income. Since there is low agricultural output and low quality produce, this will lead to low income to the farmers. Most times, there can be high income to the farmers if there is high yield from the farm, high yields from the farm. But in our case, because of late land preparation, late planting, that result to low yield, hence low income. And also we are talking of uh, uh, poor quality or low quality of produce. Most of the times if the products that are of low quality, they'll fetch the lowest price at the market, so leading to low income to the farmers as well. And also there will be low adoption of mechanized agriculture. Remember, most farmers, of which they are females, being of low levels of education, have a hard time to understand modern agricultural technology or modern ways of farming. This therefore leads to inefficient agricultural production. So since we're saying that most of the activities on the farm they are done by women, and those women they have low levels of education, so they fail to understand how to use more especially sophisticated equipments on the farm, and this will lead to inefficient agricultural production. So that makes it the end of the topic on gender roles on agricultural production. So we have defined the term gender roles, and we have also looked on the activities performed by women. Yeah, some of the activities performed by women by themselves, and also those performed by women but after consultation to their husbands. So remember, we're saying that most of the activities on the farm, they are performed by women, and we have emphasized that most of those women, they have low levels of education, and that will affect in terms of agricultural production. So the last part we are looking was on the gender roles, the effect of gender roles on agricultural production. So here is some of the work I need you to practice, to the questions I need you to answer. Give two factors that make women less involved in decision making in agricultural production. Give one reason why women may not access agricultural credit services. Explain three benefits of equal division of labor in agricultural development, and also explain the impact of gender roles in agricultural production in Malawi. So try to answer those questions. So next, I will be discussing on the farming systems. There are several patterns through which we can engage ourselves into farming activities. So it is important for us to know them, just because some of them, they may lead to high production, some of them may lead to high production, some low production. So it is important to choose wisely on which farming system to use. So it's a very interesting topic as well. Until then, goodbye.